Mr. Vivek Kumar.
Trane Technology is over a century-old, most trusted and leading HVAC equipment manufacturing organization with a proven track record of serving customers with more sustainable products. Our products have highest efficiency, best-in-class cutting-edge technology, and the lower cost of ownership. We have also done the thoughtful transition to net zero as we are also a part of Paris Accord. India market is expected to grow by 4.5 times by 2019, and that is why it becomes very important to implement strategies that can help us decarbonize buildings in order to stay on track with respect to the emissions reductions goal. About 15% of carbon emissions, global carbon emissions, are due to the HVAC buildings, and the HVAC demand is expected to grow by triple by 2050. So on screen, there's a graph. We can see this graph demonstrate the energy Pareto in building. Within the building, HVAC building, the major energy guzzler is the HVAC plant room. So within the plant room, we have to see the main equipment, the bigger equipment, HVAC equipment consumes the major consumption of energy, which is in the tune of 60 to 70%. So higher energy consumption of the HVAC plant is leading towards the higher carbon emissions. In order to be net zero down the line, we must see the probable areas where we can reduce down the carbon emissions, and we must not forget the biggest opportunity which lies in the retrofit buildings. So the existing buildings which are older than 15 or 20 years, that possess large amount of opportunity where we can do improve the efficiencies. We can find the probable areas where the energies can be improved. Apart from that, adoption of technologies like heat pump can be done, which can reduce down the dependency on the fossil fuels, and that can also help us reduce the carbon emissions, overall carbon emissions. As per Kigali Agreement, which is an international treaty between more than 170 countries, and India is also a part of that. And as per Kigali Agreement, there is a phase down of HVACs, HFC refrigerants, which has to be taken place. So in developed countries, it has already started from 2019, and in the developing countries like India, for India, it is going to be start from 2028. So we have the lowest low GWP solutions, which are the which you can also say the fourth generation or the latest technology. The transition is happening, and the majority of the big manufacturers have already commercialized their products with the low GWP solutions. So in USA, AHRI and US EPA, to support the Kigali Agreement, they have already given a mandate that the new machines coming in the market cannot have the HFC refrigerants, which are having the higher GWP ratings. Apart from that, smart integration, adoption of AI with the smart controls can also help us getting the real-time monitoring of the data and help us to reduce down the carbon emissions. We can also use the natural renewable energy sources like solar, wind, geothermal, which can also help us reduce down the overall carbon emissions in a building. Trane Technologies is committed to net zero, and for that we have short-term goals and a long-term goals. Short-term goals is what we call it as a gigaton challenge, where we are committed to reduce down 1 gigaton carbon emissions of our customer by 2030, and our long-term commitment is to be net zero by 2050. Trane Technology is registered with SBTi, which is Science Based Target Initiative. It's a UK-based non-profitable organization, which shows business how much and how quickly they need to reduce down their emissions in order to prevent the worst effect on the climate change. By saying that by reducing down 1 gigaton carbon emissions, that is actually almost equivalent to 2% of the world's annual emission, which can also be which is also equivalent to 200 million passengers vehicle driven in a year. So as a sustainability leader, we believe that by uniquely positioning the more sustainable and innovative solutions can lead to a movement to reduce down greenhouse gas emissions. So left side of the graph shows that if the business goes as usual without any improvements in the ongoing technologies, so the carbon emissions are expected to increase from 25 to 30% by 2030. But we have taken some key actions and we have adopted clean technologies. We are addressing system energy efficiencies. It is not only the equipment, but we are addressing the complete system efficiencies. We have reduced down the food losses from cold chain. We have transited from high GWP to low GWP solutions, and because of that, we believe that we would be able to achieve our short-term target of reducing down 1 gigaton of CO2 of our customers. And that's how we believe that we will be able to reduce down the curve from rather from going on the upper side, but it will go on the lower side. So if conditioning around air HVAC doesn't change, so we believe that the annual global greenhouse gas emissions are expected to increase from 15% to 25% uh, by 2050, with the number increased to 5.6 billion by 2050. So in 2014, Trane Technologies have announced an aggressive and unparalleled target 2020 climate commitments towards product as well as operations, and with respect to 2013 as a baseline. And I'm proud to share that already we have reduced down 20 million metric ton of carbon emissions only from our product, and we are selling next generation solutions in more than 30 countries. So the following slide shows our commitment and the results with respect to our product and operations. So on the product side, our goal was to reduce down 50% carbon emissions, but as on date, we have already reduced down 61% of the carbon emissions only from our product folio by adopting and transitioning from high GWP to low GWP solutions. And also we have done a lot of innovations in our products, and that's how we have increased our efficiency levels to a greater extent. On the operation side, our goal was to reduce down our carbon emissions by 35%, but as on date, we have already reduced down 50% of our global operation carbon emissions, which means that every $1 revenue generated now requires 50% less emissions compared to 2013. So, as per Paris Agreement, the world government committed to curbing global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursuing efforts to limit ambient temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. In 2018, the International Panel on Climate Change warned that the global temperature must not increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius in order to avoid the catastrophic impact on climate change. And to do so, the greenhouse gas emissions must reduce to half by 2030 and drop to net zero by 2050. And the slide exactly shows the impact. If we have to see the extreme heat impact, 25% of the global population exposed to severe heat by only by increasing zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius temperature. The sea level can increase from zero point 0.5 meter to zero point 0.6 meter. There will be a decline in marine species and plant species by 50% only because of increase of zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius. So the number may looks very small, zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius, but it has a very big impact. And that is why it becomes very important for the organizations like us and to educate our customers and to educate and develop more sustainable solutions, so that we as an organization and as a nation, we commit to our we will be able to achieve our net zero targets. That is all. Thank you.